Give Ali a big hand.
Thank you. Thank you. Last week, I was at the Dario restaurant, and we had pretty good lunch and pretty good discussion. And Yusuf brought up the discussion of being a marketing person or being a salesperson and price versus value. And everybody participated. It was a great meeting. And as a result, I came up with this topic about home valuation. How do you know how much your home worth? So for 5 minutes, that's all I can say to compress the subject. But afterwards, you can catch me and I can explain a lot more. So there are basically 5 different approaches that everybody involves that has either a land or a house or commercial or residential. The first one is everybody gets it. It's a property tax statement. The property tax statement has 3 major components. One, the very first section says the land value and says the structural improvement values. And the second sections are the extra taxes that you pay. And the third section is the number that you have to pay. So the value of your house is always a lot less than the market value. I don't know if you noticed or not, but you might want to take a look at it again. And then normally it's about anywhere I've seen it from 50 to 90% less than the market value. And then from there we go to AVM. They call it automated value method or model. And during the last 7-8 years, banks used to use it a lot. And what happens when you go to the bank or any lender, they look at the AVM. And the AVMs are normally about 5 to 10% lower than the market value. But that doesn't determine the value of your house. So what they do is they send an appraiser. And we have 2 kinds of appraisers. One, they call it driving by, and the other one is by coming in and visually see inside of your house and outside and give you a figure which represents the value of your property. And then from there, we go to market value. Who determines the market value? Even though the appraiser is giving you a number that says this is how much your house worth, but the appraiser really doesn't determine the value of your property. It's actually the buyer. For the buyer, it's very important what kind of a property to purchase. It could be under market value, it could be over market value. And that number, once transaction closes, it gets recorded. So the appraisal part really doesn't matter what the number is. What matters is from the eyes of buyer. So from there, then we go to what we call, in brokers' world, RVM, which is Realtors Valuation Model. What that is similar to appraisal value, except we come up with a number to list your property for sale. And that value that we put in addition to the appraisal value, we come up with 3 different approaches. One is income. 2 is comps in a neighborhood. And 3 is the cost, replacement of your property. And that's how we come up with a value for the property and list it in MLS or in a marketplace. So those are the different approaches. And then the last one we have, which we don't use that, are foreclosures, our auctions, our probates, our judicial foreclosures, rehabs, REOs. Those numbers we do not consider. We do not take as part of the evaluation process because those numbers do not represent the true market value of the property. So what we do is we market as much as we can to represent your property, to sell it as high as possible, even more than the market value. And that's why in some cases you would see that certain homes in certain neighborhoods are being sold much higher. It's because the way the house or the property is being represented in MLS. And that's very important, particularly when it comes to international buyers. International buyers are looking at your property through the website. So the better you represent yourself on the website, the better value you can get out of it, because they have to pretend that the property they're purchasing is the property that they're going to be living in, particularly people from Asia. People from Asia, every now and then I get calls that we saw this particular property, what do you think of it? And then I have to explain to them. If you don't have a video for your property, that's a big, big disadvantage. That's everybody is looking for a video of the property, whether it's through drones or pictures or virtual videos, and that's very important. So those are the things that determines the 5 different approaches of valuation that you were dealing with. Now, if you go on internet and do a search on Google and Yahoo, you would see a lot of private and government agencies use different statistical valuation methods. And those are for different purposes. And you would see that every agency's pricing is different, even though they use historical data, but again, they come up with different economic models. So that's why the tax statement that you get for Orange County or San Bernardino or Riverside or San Diego, you don't see the numbers are all the same. The taxes varies anywhere from to market value all the way down to 50 or 40% value of the property. So that's very important. So what I do is I set up appointment with you folks. Anybody is interested, either at my office in Newport Beach or anywhere. And even if you want lunch or dinner, I can take you lunch and dinner. And answer any questions you have and go over your portfolio. And I do mortgage clinic, meaning that I'll go over your mortgage statement, take a look at it, how long you've had it, and what are the things I can do to help you to benefit more out of it. So those are in a nutshell that determines the valuation of your properties. So just in case, if you go to the bank and or even call the bank and the bank says your property worth about $400,000, but you know your property worth $500,000, then that loan officer at the bank doesn't know much other than looking at the screen and coding from the screen and to tell you what the screen says, and it's a number. But what they do is they send an appraiser to the property to appraise it to the market value. And sometimes, if you have a custom home, it's even worse. If you have a custom homes, in most cases, what they do, they have to send 2 appraisers. Because custom homes are not like tract homes. Tract homes are easy. You've got 2 bedrooms, you've got 3 bedrooms, you've got 5 bedrooms, you do the comps, so on and so forth. But when it comes to custom homes in certain areas of Orange County, then you need to appraisal report in order to whether to qualify you for a purchase or for a refinance. Again, my name is Ali. My number is 411, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby.
Thank you.